and welcome back to another episode of the Super Kaioken podcast. I am your host, as always, Jock12, and I'm here to talk all things Dragon Ball and anime otherwise. Now, of course, it's been a while since I've done an episode of the Super Kaioken, and I meant to do this earlier, I want to say a good month or so ago, definitely prior to my whole, the last podcast episode I did of the Jock12 effect, where I pretty much denounced my possible retirement from YouTube. So I wanted to get at least another episode of the Super Kaioken in first before I started dwelling on that topic. But you know, a lot of things have been going by, and I just wanted to wait for the right moment to have a lot of material to really talk about in specifics. So now that kind of time has passed, I'm lazy, I'm tired, and I have some time to myself where I can talk things Dragon Ball, and there's been a lot of Dragon Ball stuff I've been wanting to talk about, considering I've not really been up to date with my Super reviews, which I'll get into in a second. But this latest episode of the Super Kaioken podcast is being recorded on December 2nd, 2016. We're almost done with 2017, and I have to say, thank the fucking Lord Almighty. I fucking hate 2016. It's been a terrible month for me in general, as I stated in my Jock12 Effect episode 24 pod, so check that out to know all things terrible in my life. But lately it's been pretty nice. I mean, like, I'm still on terms with the possibility of leaving YouTube and, like, not really dealing with this shit anymore, but for the most part, I've been enjoying myself having so much time outside of YouTube, and I've been enjoying the idea of having a lot of time to myself to really focus on making a good video. You know, I mean, I know it's been kind of like, I feel like with my content, I can be a very hit or miss content creator, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that I have this ability that makes me regret everything I do and anything I can do, and I'm very embarrassed with my point of view, so I always feel very, like, unsure to go all the way with my opinion. So especially in the world we live in, it's fucking insane to, like, really be legit about anything and real, but I try to be as real as possible without purposely trying to hurt or offend anybody and sound like a complete tool. But shit like that kind of happens. It's just one of those things you have to deal with when you're an internet person, and I've been on the internet as a legit, I guess, entity for a while now, and I just feel like, how do I, like, course correct or try to make a better position for myself where I can feel better about being a person on YouTube or a person on the internet in general, and it's just been very difficult to think of that. So now that I've passed November was really like the judging point. December is going to be the decider of my YouTube career. So December will really be, this month rather, is really going to be the month where I really decide whether or not I'm going to stick around or I'm going to pack my bags and get the fuck out of Dodge, as we like to call it down here. So that's where I'm at the moment, but I'll get to disclosing more things on that in later videos. But if there's anything I really am looking forward to talk about is Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super has been killing it. There's been a lot of news. Let's start off with the anime itself, because it's something I really want to get into. Now, the Super anime has been causing a lot of controversies. Now, the latest arc just ended. I want to say a good couple weeks ago already. The Future Trunks arc officially ended, and now we're in filler time. And I feel like every single step of the way to the final act of Super's Trunks arc has really gathered more and more and more controversy. And it's so crazy how, from my point of view, or like my perspective on, like, I guess if I can say it, I'm a guy who loves Dragon Ball. I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan ever since it had some form of English dub. And even before that, I would just hang out with my buddies, and we would, like, watch bootleg tapes of, like, the Chinese or, like, Mexican dub, the Spanish dub, and that's how we watched Dragon Ball back in the day, or back in the Disney, or whatever the fuck, and that's how we fucking did it. But now that we have everything at our fingertips, at our disposal, we can do anything. And it's just so funny from my perspective, where I like to be on the outside of, I guess you can call it the Dragon Ball community on YouTube or whatever. There is a legit community when it comes to Dragon Ball fans on YouTube. I'm kind of on the outside. I'm on the outskirts of any community, whether it be comic books, movie reviewers, or Dragon Ball. I'm usually like on the outside because I'm a motherfucking outlaw. But I feel like the thing that I found funny was how everyone who is in this so-called, and I'm not going to name names because I don't want to bash anybody who I may or may not respect or like, but the thing that I found funny was how people were so balls deep in sucking off Super when it came to this Trunks arc, and by the time we reached the end, it was so funny to see how heads turned to being like, this is the greatest thing ever, to being, this is dog shit, Super's going nowhere. And that's the thing I found so funny. And for me, Dragon Ball Super's Trunks arc lost me when they started to go back and forth between timelines. And that was the part that really got to me. And one of the main reasons as to why I kind of stopped reviewing Super as a whole on my channel. It's just, it got so boring. Like, once you have characters like Goku and Vegeta who have become so soft and so just unrelentingly stupid in the way they fight, it's just like, back in Z, you either fight to the death, or you just get your ass kicked to no end until like another character who's far superior to you, from you, comes and steps into the game. That's how you fucking took care of business in Z. In Super, it's like, I'm gonna fight you, and then I get my ass kicked and I run away. And then I train a little bit. Then I'm going back and I'll beat your ass. And I lose again. And then I go back and train some more. And I come back. And it's like, come on. And I get it. That's like the Dragon Ball way to an extent. Because what you have to keep in mind is that Dragon Ball is like, think of it as like an 80s pro. It is an 80s pro, but like the anime itself, it's an 80s product. So when you think about it, what was the 80s all about? Especially when it comes to like karate or kung fu films and just like pop culture films in general, it was all about the montage. That's the ongoing gag, the joke, that it's all about the 80s montage. And that's what Dragon Ball fuels itself from. It's like the hero, the Rocky, the guy who's he's gonna beat the villain, and then he loses, and he trains, and he has an 80s montage to some really cool, funny song, and then he comes back, kicks the villain's ass, gets the girl, kisses her, runs into the sunset, and it's a done deal. That's the end of the movie, credits this bitch. And that's how Dragon Ball is kind of going on, but when you have an anime series, and when you have a company whose pacing, when you have an anime series whose pacing is kind of like off or on, and you have a company, an animation studio who's in-house, just like having various problems depending whether it be its animators or directors or whatever, you fuck up. It just, shit goes down through the cracks where things could be really good or really shit. And just the going back and forth between timelines was just too aggravating to me. So that's kind of where the saga lost me. But where other people kind of got crazy were with the later episodes. And first, let's start off with like the little things and just work our way to the big stuff. This is, I guess, the first half of this pod is going to be talking about controversies and all things super anime. So let's get into that. Now, the first thing that really caused some form of controversy, from my perspective, that I feel like talking about, was the whole Goku Trunks mind debacle. I've talked about this 2 times already on my latest Super manga chapter review, which I definitely hope you check out. Secondly was when I did the review for said episode back in the day, which was, let's see, I think like practically a month ago. Wow, it's been that long. But I talked about it 2 times, I ranted about it, and I just don't like it. And I know why they did it. It was Akira Toriyama's joke of, Goku is so naive, he doesn't understand what's real life, and this has been like the ongoing topic for a lot of people, especially fangirls and specifically, and I like to hear everyone's perspective, but I feel like once you have a show like this that's taking Goku and making him just like not even himself to a degree, it just gets annoying when you just beat a dead horse over and over again with this ongoing joke that he's just too naive to understand anything. And that's where I'm at. It's just, we get it. Goku's fun and funny, but he's also stupid and naive, but he's not completely brain dead. So I find it funny how they continue to do these things, and I just don't like the joke at all, even for the Trunks Mai stuff. I mean, excluding the Goku stuff, where people either love it or hate it, the Trunks Mai thing I straight up hate because, and I find it despicable if anybody really likes it, because it's like, it's a bird feeder. You're basically feeding her like she's a fucking baby bird. Why? I mean, like, if you wanted them to kiss, let them kiss. That's not a kiss. That's fucking helping. That's like, are you gonna do that for a guy? No, he's not. He's not gonna do that. Hell, when they kind of made a joke about it with the Yajirobe thing, they made fun of that, where Trunks kind of freaks out. So that basically just shows how stupid the joke is, where he would only do that for Mai, but no one else. It's just a shitty joke, and I just don't like it at all. The Goku thing, it's one of those things where when you think about it in the manga terms, it makes sense for Goku to never kiss anybody on screen, because in general, we've never seen him. Like, I went back and checked out the manga, and especially for the Dragon Ball Z portions, he doesn't really kiss Chi-Chi at all, like, ever. But in the anime, especially with the English dub, which, once again, lots of people, like, I'm telling you, like, the internet's built for, when it comes to Dragon Ball, the internet is built for fucking subs versus dubs. It's fucking insanity. I fucking find it despicable that it's still an ongoing, like, debate with people, but it's like fucking like one or the other, or just shut the fuck up already. We get it. Dubs are better, subs are better. Fucking shut up already with that shit. But whatever. People love to debate and discuss it. It's whatever. But for me, here's the thing. In the English dub, it's like vaguely referenced that they kiss during the android arc. Not to mention the fact there's the kiss on the cheeks in Dragon Ball and what have you. And then various things like that. But that doesn't exist in other dubs, especially the Japanese. Not to mention it's very non-existent that Goku kisses anybody in the manga. So when you think about it in those terms, it's not that big of a deal. But I will admit, it's one of those things that I feel like if you don't show those things on screen, at least vaguely mention that it happens off screen. I mean, like, to an extent, Vegeta kind of vaguely mentions that he kisses Bulma, even though we've never seen it, except for via fucking anime in Super, but for the extent manga-wise, he's never kissed. Hell, I mean, like, he referenced in the Buu arc that he never even hugged or touched his kids, so, you know, you have to think about it in those terms that, at least, like, if he's not, like, taking care of his kid properly, he's still, like, fucking his wife's mouth. Goku's not doing that shit. He ain't. He's fucking, like, whatever. You know, he's that whatever of a person character. So, for me, it's like whatever. I've kind of moved past it. I just feel like it's easy to dwell on things when it comes to somebody or certain characters you love. But if there's anything that does personally depress me that continues to make me want to talk about the topic is the fake pity. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I hate fake pity, especially from people who are non-fans of the thing you like and are saddened about. Like, let me put this as an example. Let's say one person is a hardcore Goku fan and another person's a hardcore Vegeta fan. And if you're into Super, you have found that most Super is very popular on the idea of progressing Vegeta as a character when it comes to soft, fun filler moments. Goku, not so much. Goku's pretty much stagnant in his character development. So you find yourself being a Goku fan who's very depressed with not having Goku moments, and you have a Vegeta fan who's very happy with having a lot of Vegeta moments. And then you have the Vegeta fan who goes over to the Goku fan, pats him on the back and says, "It's okay, Goku's still kind of cool." That's what I fucking hate. I really hate that, and it's everywhere, and it's been like that ever since this joke has become a thing. And it's just like, fucking stop. Just stop. I hate fake pity, and it's just, that's the thing that really continues to grind my gears and rile me up when it comes to this ongoing joke, this gag of like, oh, Goku, he's whatever, he's a shitty character. And maybe that also has to do with the fact that I might be biased. I am me as a fan, I am a Goku person. I'm a hardcore Goku fan. I believe in whichever version, whether it be the heroic, stoic Funimation English dub or the naive selfish Japanese version. I like all Gokus. I love them all, except for obvious live action interpretations and movies. But other than that, I'm a huge Goku fan, Japanese or Funimation dub, regardless. But I just find it aggravating whenever they take the character and just they put him in a position that just doesn't work and doesn't land the joke properly. And when they do it again and again, it just gets aggravating. But regardless of any of that, let's move past that controversy and get to the next one, which is, of course, the big Vegito episode. Now, overall, the Vegeta episode was very highly anticipated. It was a big thing. A lot of people wanted. The second fusions were like a thing again, and you had villains like Zamasu, who had the Batara earrings. We all knew that, and Black, who had the Batara earrings, that we all knew that it would create the possibility of fusions being a thing again. And for me personally, I kind of, looking back at it, I like the fact that they brought back Vegito, but I kind of regret the fact that they did it. I feel like they shouldn't have done it. I don't know. For me personally, I love that Goku and Vegeta are a team now, but I kind of feel like they should just be solo again. It's just, I don't know why. I just feel like Goku works better when he's on his own and doing things, and Vegeta's better when he's on his own doing things because they have better stories suited to them. And when they're together, there's this constant, like, I still hate you, Kakarot, because of blah, blah, blah. And Goku just fucking, hey, Vegeta, let's do, it's just, they don't mesh well together unless it's a perfect scenario, which is very rare. So that's my perspective on that debacle. But the Vegito thing as is was great. I thought it was really good. The thing that I hate about it, that a lot of people had a lot of controversy over, was the retconning of the Batara earrings. Now, if you're not really caught up with the anime, pretty much spoilers all around here when it comes to this portion of the podcast, but overall, the fusion Batara earrings have gotten retcon in Super. In the original which there's retcons all over the place. Hell, if you go back and look at the Mafu Ba shit, that's also a big retcon. I mean, granted, I didn't put too much research on information rather, before doing the pod, but if memory serves me correct, and maybe this could be mistranslations in dubs or something, or mistranslations to manga and anime, but if memory serves me correct, the Mafu Ba, when you use it, doesn't it kill you? Like, isn't it like a suicidal technique? I don't know why, but like, both Goku and Trunks did it, and they didn't fucking die. Like, how the fuck is that possible? Like, shouldn't they have been, like, killed? I mean, Master Roshi died using it on Piccolo, and Master Roshi's fucking teacher fucking died using it on Piccolo. They both fucking, granted, maybe I'm misreading it. I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked at that portion of Dragon Ball. It's been a long fucking time. But that's just how my memory is served right now. But disregarding that, the Vegito Batara earrings thing is that back in the original content, from the way, I guess, Old Kai kind of explained it, once you put on the Batara earrings and you're fused, you're pretty much fused for the rest of your existence. You can't really unfuse. And then there was the whole thing where, oh, well, Vegito, the Vegito, the real reason they unfused, this was kind of like the fan theory back in the day before Super came around, was, oh, like his force field or some form of ability Vegito had. He was so powerful. Or maybe like the Boo, like being inside Boo and his fumes and chemicals kind of like unfused them or whatever. That was kind of like the fan theory. Now in Super, it's kind of discussed in the fact that only Kais are fused for the rest of existence. Humans or other kind of various mortals, unlike Kais, don't fucking have to be fused for the rest of their existence. They're pretty much fused for like an hour. So that was the retconning, and it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like the only reason they put that in there was for plot purposes. It was like, we want Vegito, but we don't want to keep him Vegito forever. Like, we want, like, this possible Easter egg plot example or device to use at any time we feel like it, and we can unuse it whenever we want to as well. It's kind of like the fusion dance thing. It's like, yeah, we have this ultimate power we can use. We got Gogeta Super Saiyan 3. In GT, we got Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. But it doesn't matter anymore because, like, we can do it whenever we want because it times out in, like, fucking 20 minutes. That's the part that really bugs me, but the thing that really bugged a lot of other people was obviously the Batar ring earring retconning. So that was a real big debacle, and plus the limited time Vegito had in general, considering that because of how powerful Vegito was using his Kamehameha waves and his Super Saiyan Blue and stuff like that, it really degraded his time limit. So I feel like that was also kind of just dog shit, but whatever. It is what it is. In general, I feel like they were better suited doing Gogeta. Not for me personally, I feel like Gogeta, excluding GT, because GT kind of ruined a lot of things in general, but Gogeta, let's face it, he is more boss and badass than Vegito. Vegito's cool, he's fun, he's awesome, he has a lot of cool techniques and whatever, but come on. I rewatched Dragon Ball Fusion Reborn, I guess. The fight that Gogeta has with Janemba, it's done in seconds, and he's just too cool for school. I mean, like, in the words of Snoop Dogg, Gogeta is a G. Once a guy like Snoop Dogg says that, you don't fucking go back to Vegito. You stick with Gogeta, fuckos. You stick with fucking Gogeta. Gogeta is where it's at. You fucking have him do it, and you exclude the GT shit. You keep the Fusion Reborn canon, or at least the character Gogeta canon, even though it's technically not, but whatever, we'll take it back. We're taking it all back. And you fucking put that in, because the thing with Vegito, even though he's much more powerful than the villains he faces off against, he has like this weird Vegeta mentality, or like Goku mentality of like elongating the fight and not ending it as quickly as possible, which really bugs me. It's the same thing that happened in Z when he fought against Buu, where Vegito was far more superior than Buuhan. Buuhan, Super Buu, fucking had nothing on Vegito. I mean, like, by the time he became Super Vegito, it was done. He was kicking his ass as a piece of candy. He was kicking ass. He was an ass. He was slaying Asians, as we like to call it over here, and fucking, he lost. He lost because he elongated the fight. He was playing around. He's playing games. And that's the thing I don't like about these fusions, is that once you have two mindsets that combine, you create foolishness, and then you don't have the epicness of what a character should be like in Gogeta, as in Fusion Reborn. So that's kind of like my hope, which is, if they decide to do Fusion again, they're obviously going to go the Batara earring route. But just do Gogeta, but use Gogeta the way he was done in Fusion Reborn. Like, just do that. That's my opinion. But overall, the controversy, they didn't use him correctly. The retconning of the Batara earrings, hell, even his design, which makes no sense. I will agree, it doesn't make sense. He should have had, like, Saiyan armor, but what are you going to do? Super's big on recycling designs, so it's whatever. But moving on for that, the big controversy post-Vegito was obviously Trunks and his Spirit Bomb thing. Look, let's be honest here. Trunks and the ridiculous things that he did in this arc makes no fucking sense at all. And I know a lot of people have been trying their hardest to try and defend it as much as possible. Like, who knows how powerful he could be? I mean, like, he was training with the Kais, and he was doing all this. He could have had some form of Ultimate Gohan type training and stuff. And I'll agree that makes sense. I mean, Trunks was very powerful when he left, and in the manga at least, he's very much more powerful than he kind of looks in the anime. For example, in the anime, he's pretty much like, I guess you could say, on par with like Teen Gohan when he fought Cell, I guess, or somewhere around like a regular Super Saiyan 2 Goku. But then once he reaches Super Saiyan 3, he's outclassed. However, in the manga, Trunks is pretty much on par with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, which is pretty cool. I mean, like, I'll be nitpicky about it, of course, but overall pretty cool. However, in the anime, Trunks has this new Super Saiyan form that was never named or given any explanation, and then he had the power to use the Genki Dama, Spirit Bomb, and his sword. Like, what the fuck? Like, first off, it's the same, it's like, I feel like I'm going in circles. It's like the same fucking debate I had with, like, years ago when I was talking shit about the whole Gohan using the Kamehameha wave in Robot Underdog's Light of Hope series. And I kind of went on a tangent about, like, Gohan doesn't know the Kamehameha. I mean, like, he's seen it possibly or heard about it, but he never really used it up until he trained with Goku. Gohan never used the Kamehameha wave up until the point, or at least in the anime series, up until the point he trained with Goku. At that point in time, he only used the Masenko. He used techniques and abilities. He was trained by Piccolo, so he uses his powers and abilities. So, you know, he doesn't fucking know how to use it, and let's say he does, but he never does actually use it. However, in this thing, Goku learns this technique from King Kai. Trunks never met or interacted with King Kai, to my knowledge, if I remember correctly, at all in the anime series or in the manga, ever. So, and I'm pretty sure none of the Kais know how to do the fucking Spirit Bomb when it's strictly abilities he's learned from, unless they learned it from King Kai. King Kai is the fucking creator of the Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb. How the fuck did Trunks use it? Like, and plus Goku never used both Kaioken or Spirit Bomb when Trunks was back in time, back in Z. So it creates so many questions, so many fucking plot holes. It makes no sense. Granted, it looked cool and it felt very like an exceptional end in the sense of Trunks being the person to definitively defeat Zamasu in black. However, that brings us to our next controversy, which is the fact that no one really beats Black or Zamasu. Zamasu is the first villain, I guess you can say, in all of Dragon Ball to really be the main villain to get what he wants or win at the end of the day. And that's been causing the biggest controversy with every Dragon Ball fan and every Dragon Ball fan YouTuber, which is, of course, the fact that the Omni King obliterates the fucking universe. Spoilers. He obliterates the universe with Zamasu in it because Zamasu is so immortal and powerful that he's kind of a part of the universe itself. So the only way to take him down was to bring in Omni King and basically obliterate the fuck out of Zamasu. So that was kind of what they did, and that created controversy because Trunks and Mai don't have a home anymore. They lost their battle. Trunks kind of goes down. He's like the Hillary Clinton of Dragon Ball, of Dragon Ball Super. He wanted to win. He wanted to go, but Donald Trump came and beat his ass. Like, he beat his ass. Hillary Clinton, he's Obama. He's leaving office as a loser, as a failure in a sense, because Trunks didn't get the win. You know, he's kind of like his dad all over again. He didn't get the fucking win. And it's just, when I first saw it, I felt very just neutral about it, because here's the thing, Dragon Ball, here's the thing, like Trunks, when Beerus and Whis decide, we're gonna just take you back in time, into this timeline, where they all are okay and living in their existence, and there might be a double of you, who knows, just go there and you can live happily ever after with Mai, what have you. And everybody's cool with it. And Trunks is kind of like, he's sad about it because it's like, he failed Gohan, and he failed his mother, and he failed everybody at home in the universe. But it's okay because I have Mai, and we're going to be happy again, or whatever. It's terrible, but I feel neutral about it because if Trunks and Mai are willing to accept their fate in this new timeline, I as a fan or as a watcher can be like, okay, I'll accept it too. After hearing everybody's thoughts and hearing the uproar of the controversy, I will admit it is a sad ending. It's a very bittersweet, very just, why'd you do that kind of ending? Because Dragon Ball is very big on happy endings, but when you think about it, this is the first time where Dragon Ball has kind of just done a legit kind of melancholy, kind of just, you know, everyone's still alive, but it's just not the life you know, and it's just, here you go, that's it. You know, God's kind of ruined your life and your existence, but what are you going to do? You can't really depend on anybody, only yourself. That's kind of like the lesson to learn. And it's a really fucked up, sad ending. And it's one of those things that I feel like Super, if it does anything right, it has to come back to stories and characters to redeem them. And this is a story in characters that definitely need redemption, whether it be the manga or the anime. Hopefully the manga, because it is a sad ending. it's a very sad ending, and I personally have kind of moved on with it because I'm kind of done with the Trunks arc. I feel like it's time to reach some new content, which we've been getting recently. It's mostly filler time, but I'm very excited for the next arc. But which I might end up giving my personal like theories or speculation of what I'd like to see in a second. But in general, the Trunks arc has created a new standard for Super, but also a lot of controversies and plot holes and retconnings and lots of time verse explanations that aren't explained correctly and stuff like that. And for me, the Trunks arc was great. There was a lot of good in it. But like with all of Super, there's also a lot of negatives. And I feel like maybe that has a lot to do with the fact of Toriyama not strictly having a lot to say of what he wants to do. And Toei Animation really having to fill the blanks in Toriyama's ideas of what they need to do. And it's one of those things that I hope that they can fix with future arcs and really make a tight story. But we just have to wait and see. And for the Trunks arc, with all of its controversy, was a good arc, and it was a good standard for Super moving forward, but it's definitely one of those things that we're going to have to look back and say, they really did some fucked up shit here, and, there's not really anything good to say about it. It is what it is. It's a part of the Dragon Ball franchise history now, and we're just gonna have to deal with it. That's just how it is. With all being said, the Trunks arc has come to its end, and for what it's worth, I did love the arc. I thought it was the best arc of all of Super. I mean, Battle of Gods and Resurrection F were retellings. Battle of Gods I liked for what it was. Resurrection F I thought was god awful. I think it was dog shit. Champa arc was heavily hyped and did not live up to said hype. Even though to this day, I don't care what anybody says, that Goku Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 10 taking down Hit is still my favorite thing out of all of Super. Next to probably Trunks and Goku fighting Zamasu and Black together. That's also a pretty good highlight. But for the most part, that shit was the tits. But the arc was really just mediocre at best, I guess, if we're being polite. And then we have the Trunks arc, which was a really good arc, just very convoluted. So I guess looking at it in retrospect, Battle of Gods was passable. Resurrection F was dog shit. Champa Universe 6 arc, or tournament rather, was mediocre. And then Trunks arc was convoluted, which was expected. I mean, if no one really saw this coming, then you're kind of just living a lie, or living in the clouds, if you can say, because the Trunks arc back in Z is kind of convoluted and filled with plot holes. So when you think of timelines and time placements, and then you take it to a whole nother level with gods and new entities that Toriyama and company continue to fucking create for no apparent reason, it just creates more problems. So I feel like the best thing to do is just have Trunks be a co-star, show him off in cameos here and there, and say very 2 to 3 word sentences and just let it be done. Because this character I feel like as great as character is, and as much of a fan favorite he is with fans all over the world, he is a very convoluted character that creates a lot of plot holes and retconnings when it comes to Dragon Ball's storytelling. So let's just skip through his shit and bring him on a couple of times like they did with the movies, and then just leave it at that. Just leave it like, hey, how are you and Mai? Say something, let it go. That's all I'm saying. But that's pretty much the first thought. That's personally all I really wanted to say about Dragon Ball Super, the anime so far. But let's get into some quick speculation on the new arc. Now, the biggest new arc, which will be coming out later this month, a lot of people have speculated it may or not be the next arc, but most than likely this is the big starter off to the next arc that is the big question. And of course, it's the assassination of Goku, Hit coming down to their universe and taking down Goku. Some anonymous character has hired Hit, the greatest assassin in all the 12 universes, so to speak, to really come and take down Goku. And for me personally, I am very hyped over this episode. I really feel like it should be the next starter up for a new arc, and I feel like this is the perfect way to do it. First off, this is what you do. Because Goku is like Dragon Ball Superman, And I feel like when you play off to that in an anime storytelling, do what Justice League the animated series did. Superman is the key to everything when it comes to beating down the main villain. So you put him in situations that he can't be the person to have the last blow. So you bring in other characters like Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter to really do some fucking serious work. Some real fucking groundwork, rather. Do that with this arc. A lot of people are very much sick of Goku getting the win. I'm personally not one of those people. I will admit that, sure, it's really cool to see other characters do stuff, but at this point, Super is really big on having Goku get the big win and having Vegeta do a lot of the work, and then there you go. This is what you do. This is my idea, my theory of like what I like to see. Hit comes down and just obliterates Goku and annihilates him, and he dies, but doesn't really. He's not really dead. He's kind of think of it as like do what they're doing with Luke Skywalker. Just take him, just throw him away. He's not dead, he's not gone, he's away, he's gone. We don't know what to do. And have the characters be in a situation where, like, kind of like Death of Superman. Superman's gone, how do we live in a world without Superman? How do we live in a world without Goku? This is what you do. That's how you reinforce development in the characters we have now once you've taken out your ace in the hole. How do characters defeat Hit? How do characters defeat various other characters, villains rather, coming into their universe, their world, now that they can't depend on Goku or can't depend on the gods anymore? You know, Beerus and Whis are kind of like, don't depend on us anymore. Leave us the fuck alone. Omni King, he's got his buddy. We don't need you fucks anymore. They're alone. They're isolated. They're in their own little world. They have to protect their own universe on their own now. That's how you do it. Just take him away. He's not dead. And then the journey, you can create some kind of mystery to the story of very individual bottled filler episodes in the arc of trying to find out where Goku is, where he went. My favorite portions of Z was when Goku wasn't around and you wondered, like, where was he? How is he going to come back? Is he going to be dead forever? That was my favorite parts. Like, I know this is filler, but like back when Vegeta was in space and trying to find Goku and he got kind of close to finding out, where is he? How do I become a Super Saiyan? He did it. I need to find him. Learn the secrets. I love that, like, that mystery episodes of filler with Vegeta in space trying to find out where this guy go who has this power that I need and want. Or the Android arc where Goku's in a coma. He's out of place. It gives us other characters to have good moments like Piccolo and Vegeta and Trunks and stuff like that. And Krillin. That's what I'd like to see. You know, because let's face facts. Goku can't beat Hit. Vegeta can't beat Hit. None of these characters can beat Hit. Hit is on a whole other level. Even in the tournament itself, Goku and Hit couldn't go all out. And Hit still had so much power up against Goku. So, in the context of possibly ending up killing off Goku, which the title seems to spoil, thank you, Japan, fucking take him away. Put him in a box, send it away. How do you live in a post-death of Goku? In a real fashion. Not in a, oh, he's gone, he's hanging up with King Kai, it's okay, he's a ghost again. Hanging out in Otherworld. No, I don't want that shit anymore. We don't need Otherworld sagas anymore. We don't need that like we did in Z. We don't need that shit no more. Do it like how I just said. History of Trunks. You know what was so great? The fact that you had two awesome characters living in a world without superheroes anymore. Vegeta's gone, Goku's gone, Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, Piccolo, they're all gone. Trunks lives in a world without them. That's what makes him such a great character, because he's alone. Do the same thing with the rest of the gang in Universe 7 that really have to do things on their own in a post-non-Goku world. And then, of course, you bring him back in the end, where you're like, holy shit, he's come back. He's in it again. Yes, fuck yeah, the return of Goku. You know, the rise, the fall, the death, the return. That's what I'd like to see. Granted, Super does its own thing. They love to do a lot of comedic stuff. I mean, like, do what Dragon Ball AF did, the fan comic that Toritaro did, or fucking Multiverse, or fucking, I don't know, do something like that. Do what Dragon Ball Epsilon did. You know, like, where'd fucking Goku go? Where did he go after GT? Where the fuck did he go? He just became a part of Shenron and then he fucking was gone forever. Do that, but bring him back though in a better way. That's all I can say. That's my half-ass speculation and theory of what I like to see happen, but that's pretty much all I can say. I've been talking too much about that nonsense. But keeping on terms with Dragon Ball Super, or at least moving away from it for a second, I'd like to quickly discuss some other anime-related stuff before I return, which is not Dragon Ball, but anime live-action films. We've been getting a lot of trailers for some upcoming anime films. We got the big Ghost in the Shell trailer, and we also got from Japan certain teaser trailers for Fullmetal Alchemist live action. And let's quickly talk about that. Obviously, the big one was Ghost in the Shell. Scarlett Johansson and crew and company went to Japan to really do some great things. They went to premiere the trailer there. They went to basically acknowledge Japan, I guess, and really say, like, this is going to be as faithful as possible. Here's the Q&As. Let's talk about this project. Let's talk about Ghost in the Shell, the movie. This is how we're doing it. They showed off the trailer. They showed off to producers all over and marketers, like, fucking, here's everything. This is what we're doing. This is Ghost in the Shell live action. And I have to say, for a guy who was very much semi-optimistic about the film, my optimism is kind of blown all over the place, upward, if you will, with the hype of Ghost in the Shell. The trailer is phenomenal. Even people who gave me shit, or fucking people who are like, Scarlett Johansson, a non-Asian woman playing the fucking major? Fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you, Hollywood. Fuck you. And fuck you too, Junk 12. I didn't fucking cast the fucking lady. Fuck you anyway. People went crazy. People were fucking crazy, but the trailer really turned a lot of people around. And for me personally, look, like all anime live-action films, there's always the possibility of failure. This movie could be fucking good, or it could be dog shit. We don't know. We have to wait for the final product. But based off what I've seen already, this trailer is fucking good. I fucking love the trailer. I fucking love the way they designed the outlook of this universe. I loved the look of the major, of how Scarlet looks, and of course that shelling sequence. It's probably the greatest and just the best live action interpretation of an anime sequence ever. I haven't seen a fan film or a movie of any stature make a great fucking sequence transition from anime to live action ever. That fucking shelling sequence with the music itself from the original film was boss level. It was boss level. It was fucking everything you can want and more. And of course, we move on. We get a lot of reminiscence of the film with Scarlett Johansson's action and with the rest of the scenes. And it's a really great trailer. I feel like the thing is, there's a lot of Hollywoodisms that I'm willing to acknowledge. There's a lot of things with the way Scarlett Johansson's acting, and I saw her Q&As. I heard her talk about Ghost in the Shell and her personal thoughts on playing the major, anime industry, the transition to film, all that kind of stuff. Her working on the project, and I've never really seen a lot of Scarlett Johansson interviews, so it's kind of hard to see or tell that she is sincere with what she says. But overall, I like what they've shown us. If there's anything I don't like is, number one, the way they kind of designed the city in the trailer. It's very Akira, which I don't know why they did that. Like, I don't know if they noticed, but it's cool and all, and I like it, but Ghost in the Shell is not Akira, so you don't have to have, like, gigantic 3D projections of, like, cool, like, 3D ROM'd, awesome, like, fucking Vegas lights shows. You don't need that shit in Ghost in the Shell. There's cool lights, and there's a lot of illuminating, lightful objects in the background when it comes to classic animes like Ghost in the Shell and Akira, but Ghost in the Shell is a lot more grounded in the sense of its backgrounds in comparison to Akira, which is this ultra, just ultra hyped reality of Neo Tokyo. So I feel like they went a little too Akira with the background of the trailer, but overall really good. Another nitpick has to be Scarlett Johansson's vocalage, I guess you can say. Her vocals and her dialogue that she gives is very much Scarlett Johansson. It doesn't feel like a robot talking. It doesn't feel like a cyborg talking. Like, it doesn't sound like a person who's not really a person. It sounds like Scarlett Johansson trying to be quippy and soft spoken, which kind of bugged me. It didn't bug me. It kind of just irked me. Another real nitpick has to be the way they kind of use the Puppet Master. The Puppet Master, when you watch the original film, and I don't know how much influence they're taking from various other Ghost in the Shell projects, but in the original film, the Puppet Master, we don't really see a lot of them at all ever in the movie until like small portions here and there, a lot of mentioning here and there, and then a big review at the end, and then that's it. He's kind of just merged with the major, spoilers. But in the fucking trailer, you get like full on, what's his face, fucking Michael Pitt. That's his name, Michael Pitt, who's a phenomenal actor. I've always liked the guy. You should, if you want to see some good shit from him, check out Boardwalk Empire. The first 3 seasons, fucking phenomenal. But he just comes in. He's just walking around and he just reveals himself. And he has a very obvious, like the thing that kind of irked me is that Michael Pitt as the Puppet Master, or if he is the Puppet Master, who knows? I don't know. There could be like another, anime-esque twist by the end of the movie, but based off trailer-wise, he sounds like a very obvious villain to an anime, which is both good and obnoxiously stupid at the same time. He's very over the top and just like, I am the villain. You want to know how I know? I'm the fucking bad guy. You want to know why? Because I talk this way. I'm the villain. I am Ultron. He's that trailer voice bad guy. And it's just, that was something that irked me, not to mention that they showed him. But whatever, it is what it is. Everything else is pretty cool. The design, the look. I mean, like, for a guy like me who really had some optimism to really see something that truly looks fucking phenomenal. Not to mention the fact that I had no faith in, what's his face? Rupert Sanders, I think is the director's name. I forgot. I had no fucking faith in his ability to make this movie. I had no fucking faith in him. And you know what? He's fucking proving me wrong with this fucking trailer and the shelling sequence together. It's so good. CGI-wise, it's very, I don't know, like, the way they kind of design tech kind of bugs me. Only in the sense of, like, it looks good for this kind of movie. And I guess this kind of like studio and budget that they're giving this movie. But the thing that kind of irked me with the look of the CGI tech was that it looked very obviously CGI teched. Like, it's very much like the kind of like high-priced tech CGI you'd expect from like a commercial. Like, I don't know if anybody, you've ever seen like those 5-gum commercials where they show like a chick or some dude like following into some kind of weird, obnoxiously looking like black and gray CGI tech that makes no sense, and they're like hovering or something, and they're blowing out the mist of like, oh, I just chewed this gum and this is how I feel when I chew this shit. Yeah. It's just, that's what the tech looks like in this fucking trailer. But beyond that, everything looks great. The fight sequence, the CGI, besides tech-wise, looks great. The backgrounds look great. Scarlett Johansson looks great. Granted, her suit has a lot less nippleage. It's a lot less Batman and Robin, if you will, which is what Ghost in the Shell should be in the sense of showing off her nipples. But I guess they were like, look, we got a mother, we don't have young Scarlett Johansson, we got mother Scarlett Johansson, and she's still great and good looking and all, but we live in this kind of world, we can't go all the way. I mean, like, look at her, she's already practically full naked wearing this suit. Just don't give her the nipples. For me, I'm kind of saddened that they don't have the nipples, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be like, you know what, people are going to want to cosplay this shit. We don't put in nipples. Don't put in the nipples. All right, fucking. Other than that, everything else looks great. The other characters look good. Fucking, what's his face, Greyjoy from fucking, Uncle Greyjoy from fucking Game of Thrones. He looks good. Although, the eye thing kind of bugged me. It's like, just keep the eye lenses on. He never takes off the lenses. The character never takes off the lenses, so don't take it off and on. I don't know. That's another like Hollywoodism. It's like, we need to see the actor's eyes. It's like, no, you don't, fucko. It's a fucking anime. Enough for you. But yeah, other than that, the trailer is great. It put a lot of optimism and hype under my belt when it comes to being interested in this film. Once again, look, it's still okay to be bitchy about they should have put more Asian actors and stuff. It's still okay to feel that way and think that way, but at the end of the day, I feel like they're doing a lot of justice from translating anime and manga to screen, and the actors look great, the visuals looks great, it looks like a legit studio budget. I mean, like, let's just wait and see with the final product. That's all I really want to say. Let's just wait and see. So, overall, Ghost in the Shell, it has a huge thumbs up for me. I loved it. But moving off that to the Fullmetal Alchemist trailer, for me, the Fullmetal Alchemist trailer was okay. It was okay. It wasn't as good as I thought it could be. And I feel like when it comes down to trailers, movie trailers rather, Japan really sucks at it, or at least like Asian countries really suck at it. I don't know why, but I can never get, like, an American trailer, like a Hollywood trailer to a movie, a lot of people can be very nitpicky about it, but it's far more enjoyable than to a Japanese trailer, I feel, because a Japanese trailer or some form of Asian trailer never feels legit. It feels like they want to show a sequence, but they don't know how to, like, not show too much, but show something cool to get people hyped, which is what the purpose of a trailer is. And they kind of just end up just showing, like, a lot of footage that doesn't have a flow, and then they reveal something that just shouldn't be revealed, or they should show something that they don't show at all. It's like the teaser trailer for Fullmetal Alchemist has that feeling. It has a feeling of a trailer that doesn't have the flow of a teaser trailer. It feels like the setup to a trailer that doesn't have a time limit acceptable for said trailer. That's what it feels like to me. But disregarding that, the imagery we got it as a whole, it looked pretty good. I feel like the actors, granted, I think they looked a little too old to play the characters that we all know and love, but the CGI when it came to the Elric brothers and the powers and abilities of alchemy looked pretty cool, and the backgrounds looked pretty interesting. But for the most part, when I compare and contrast trailers, the Ghost in the Shell trailer just looked far more phenomenal. Granted, it's DreamWorks. They put in some of that fucking Hollywood money in there, and this is more or less in-house when it comes to the studios doing Fullmetal Alchemist. So it is what it is. But they both are pretty good, and I'm excited to see what happens. I'm really hoping that these movies just get better and better with time, because now that we're reaching a point where, like, superhero films are dominating, and there's still the idea of superhero fatigue and, like, fatigue with comic books in general, I feel like the more fatigue and uninterest people are getting with comic books could be the time to really bring in some anime influence and really have this Japanese animation or Japanese influence, Eastern influence back into Hollywood that feels legitimate and has substantial products to sell over here. That's my personal opinion on that. But anyways, regardless of any of that, this episode is fucking getting a lot longer than I fucking want it to be, especially considering I still have to go and cook dinner. But for the most part, let's get into the last portion of this episode, which I want to discuss the official announcement and reveal of Dragon Ball Super English dub. Yes, folks, we can applause fucking all over. We got the English dub. We got the voice cast return. We got everything. We're on point. We're on fucking. We're stay on course. Stay on mark. We're on there. We're fucking taking down the Death Star. We're Luke Skywalker. This bitch. We're on fucking point. And we got the official cast. We got the official announcement from Toy Animation, Funimation. Chris Sabat released a whole bunch of stuff on his Twitter because he's fucking... I guess you can call him like the Dwayne The Rock Johnson of Dragon Ball Super Hype on Twitter. He's fucking just showing off shit. And I guess it feels good to be a guy like a Chris Sabat or Sean Schemmel who gets asked about Super. I don't know, like every fucking second of the day by us annoying ass fans. So it's good to be like, hey, you know that thing that you kept bugging me for like fucking 2 years already? Well, here, we're finally doing it, you sons of bitches. So it's a good time to be a fan, and we got the hype train going, and we got some interesting clips, which of course, one got taken down. I don't know if Funimation brought it back. They had a huge debacle about it, but we got released 2 clips. One was the Hercules and Majin Buu clip, which I think they took down mostly because Toy Animation, I'm guessing they got pissy with Funimation. We're like, hey, fucko, Toonami Asia just released their English dub, and they just released their fucking English dub teaser, which was that clip. So can you, like, fuck off with that shit? Okay. So I guess they did that. But you can still find it on YouTube. Certain people reposted it, so it is what it is. It's pretty fucking awesome. I did check out the Toonami Asia version, though, and I have to say, I know a lot of people have been kind of polite about it, but I'm going to be balls to the wall with this one. I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to say that Funimation's dub is the quintessential dub, because once again, dubs versus subs, man, shut the fuck up with that nonsense. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Toonami Asia, I really found it very hacky. It was recorded substantially, and it felt very just, yeah, it was pretty, passable. But as a fan of the dub, the English dub that Funimation does, it felt very hack. It just felt like 2 actors trying to do their interpretations of what the Funimation dub did. That's just how it felt to me. And maybe that was their intent, to try and replicate that for the Asia-speaking countries or whatever, who speak English over in the Asia countries. But as is, it really bugged me. It didn't bug me in the sense of, like, they should take it down. Those fucking actors, they suck and they shouldn't act at all. Like, no, go ahead and do that. But it's just, seeing as how it will have no effect, it will have no effect, rather, on me, in my viewing pleasure of Super, whether it be Japanese or the Funimation dub, I fucking don't give a shit what they do. That's over there, not over here. I'm fucking pleased. So, it is what it is. I found it kind of hacked, but that's just my personal subjective opinion on it. However, with the clips, the fucking Hercules Satan clip was awesome, and we also got a clip of Sean Schemmel's Goku and King Kai in Super, which was also really phenomenal. And we got the official cast, which of course, let's get into it. Let's you know what? Let's fucking name off. Let's just name off the character and actors list, which they announced by Funimation. Of course, Sean Schemmel and Chris Sabat will be coming back for Goku and Vegeta. Very obvious. We got Jason Douglas, Ian Sinclair coming back as Beerus and Whis, Sonny Strait, Kawaii Bear, and Monica Riel coming back for Krillin, Gohan, and Bulma. Chris Sabat, of course, for Piccolo and Yamcha. We got Alexis Tipton replacing Laura Bailey as Kid Trunks. I've talked about this in various places. A lot of people have talked about this, which is the main controversy. Of course, this has already been kind of like settled on Twitter, rather. Chris Sabat, Alexis Tipton, and obviously Laura Bailey have given their 2 cents in peace on the whole debacle. And I get it. Laura Bailey, she's big now. She's killing it in her game, so there's just not enough time for her to really be associated with this project, which sucks because I really enjoy Laura Bailey as Trunks. I mean, like, fucking like, what's next? You're not going to bring back Eric Vale for fucking the future Trunks arc? Let's not play games here, but, I'm just saying, it just sucks when you have an actress who's been voicing a character for a long time that you really enjoy, maybe not the character, but more or less her acting in it, and it's just like, to have them gone kind of just suck. It's kind of like the Bulma thing, where it's like, I love Tiffany as Bulma, and I like Monica Rial as Bulma. I think she's phenomenal as well. But there was that time and place where when they brought her in for Kai, that it's just like, you just had to go for the juggler, didn't you, Chris Abbott? But as is, it's like I feel very much in peace with Monica Rio, and I guess we'll have to wait and see if the same thing will be for Alexis. But it is what it is, and we got Doc Morgan coming in for narrator, Kara Edwards coming in for Goten, and Vidal, Cowboy coming back for Ox King as well, and Cynthia Krantz coming for Chi-Chi. Meredith McCoy, Android 18, Chris Rager for Mr. Satan, Josh Martin as Boo, Sean Schimmel, of course, King Kai, Chris Sabat again for Shenron, and so on and so forth. John Bergmeyer's Tien, Chris Kesson as Shu, Mike McFarlane, Roshi, fucking awesome, Brina Palancia, Puar, Chuck Huber as Pilaf, Cowboy Bear again, goddamn, I really wish he came back for narrator, but whatever, it is what it is. Brad Jackson as Oolong, Tia Ballard, Marin, very interesting. Kent Williams as Capito Kai and Ode Kai, and Justin Cook as Dende, Brina Palancia as Dende, as Chaozu rather. I fucked up for a second there. And Colleen Klinkenberg as Mai. That's pretty much the official cast for each character. I will say this, it sucks that they didn't add along the extended cast for characters to see in future arcs. As I mentioned before, they fucking have a lot of characters that are new that are coming into the scene. We got Champa, Vados, we got Universe 6, we got Hit, we got Frieza coming back. Are they going to bring back Chris Aries? I really fucking hope they do. Is he going to play Frost? Will Goku be black? Who is Zamasu? You know, these are certain things that I wish they added with the list, but I guess what they were trying to do was just say, here's the official cast, and here's just the official veteran actors of the English dub coming back, with exceptional changes from Kid Trunks and stuff like that. But for the most part, Funimation put out a huge press release and stuff like that, and I'm just psyched. I'm stoked. I can't wait for Dragon Ball Super dub to officially come out. It's been something we've been talking about for a long time, and I'm stoked and hyped. I don't know when exactly it'll be coming out. They didn't, at this point in time, they haven't really put out an official release date for the dub. My guess is, seeing as how they've already started posting clips on social media, my guess is they're pretty much already in the grind of recording certain instances from Dragon Ball Super. I'm guessing that they're pretty much just really into the Battle Gods arc and just recording that at this point in time. But for the most part, if I had to put like a guesstimation, my guess is probably by the time we reach January, maybe February, we'll pretty much get the English dub. And who knows when it's going to come out. A lot of people have been speculating maybe Toonami. I don't know yet with that kind of debacle, considering that Funimation is very heavily sidetracked with Super, that will they have enough time to really coincide Kai Boo, because the Boo Kai thing has been something that's had a gigantic setback in a lot of places because of the movies, not to mention the rights and stuff like that, and whether or not it's really relevant to do Boo Kai, because if I'm not mistaken, they didn't really do that much with Boo Kai in comparison to Kai Cell and vice versa. But whatever, it is what it is. Toonami will be the place, or will be in Funimation, or will be I think, what is it, Funimation Now, and then Crunchyroll, will they post it there, seeing as how the anime is already on there. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, but as is, my guess is pretty much just next month in January, or possible February. And if not that, then possibly maybe once the manga starts hitting shelves over here in America, in the States, because if I'm not mistaken, the manga will also be coming out very soon next year, either, I think, in the next several months, or in spring of 2017, I think is when Viz Media will be officially releasing the manga, which I'm also very hyped for, because I love the fucking manga. So, not to mention the fact that Volume 2 of the manga over in Japan was officially released. So, I don't know, fucking check that shit out. I really want to get it, but at the same time, like, now that we're officially heading towards 2017, I feel like I might just end up focusing on buying the English version instead of having to order it from Japan and buy it over in Japan. But I can't help it, man. I love that fucking manga. I mean, like, Super, whether it be whichever medium has its hits and its misses, but fuck, that manga, it kicks my fucking ass. But, whatever, it is what it, to each his own. But overall, that's going to be it. I'm going to end this episode of the podcast right now. I've been talking far too long. We talked all things Super, we've talked all things English dub, we talked all things Ghost in the Shell. But with that being said and done, let me know what you think in the comment section below of all things anime and Dragon Ball Super. There's a lot of great things to come with the later month, and of course, next year. There's a lot of things to look forward to in Dragon Ball, the franchise, and maybe one day we'll get one step closer to that inevitable live-action interpretation that we all fucking yearn for and deserve. Or at least I fucking deserve. I'm just saying. I mean, like, I love the anime and the manga and the countless video games they keep making for god-awful reasons. But, fuck, I want to see a good live-action interpretation of Dragon Ball already on the screen. I feel like at this point in time, the only way to do it right is for it to be a dream project. We have the Deadpool. We have to Deadpool Dragon Ball Z for live action films. That's how we have to do it. It's going to take a goddamn while, isn't it? But, whatever. It is what it is. Let's just end this shit. Also, the video games came out. Xenoverse 2. I didn't fucking buy it. I don't really care. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. Kudos to you. Also, Dragon Ball Fusions came out. Didn't buy that shit either. But a lot of people are enjoying these current video game runs for Dragon Ball. So kudos to Dragon Ball. It keeps on hitting and pushing out products for us fans. And I'm just grateful for that. So let's be grateful together and enjoy all things Super in the upcoming months. But with that being said and done, let's end this podcast. I am your host as always, Josh12. And I hope you guys enjoyed, you guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, the latest episode of the Super Kaioken podcast.